What is going on, guys? Cash and Clean here, and for today's video I'm going to be telling you effective ways how to stall a point on whether it's 2CP or just trying to get back to the payload in general or going back to the capture point on King of the Hill. Whatever it might be, I'm going to teach you effective ways to actually stall the point, and hopefully you can possibly win your games just because of it. So I'm going to go over 4 things that you should know when doing this, because I can't tell you how many times that whatever rank you're in, it just, like, people just don't know how to effectively stall. They just kind of go back onto the point and just hope for the best, I guess, or they just don't care. But realistically, like, every single second, or no matter how much time you get, it's better to stall than to just kind of give it up, if that makes sense. So, by me sharing you all this information, hopefully you can apply it to your games, and hopefully it can work out for you. If not, then I mean, it's worth a shot at least. It doesn't hurt to try if you're really stalling for a point. So the first method that I like to, I don't really like to do it, but it's like, it's just one of the tips out there. So the first one is wait for a tick or two. So this gives you a chance to actually group up with at least half of your team instead of like an Ana just going in onto the point. Because realistically, what's an Ana gonna do? Just throw a nade at herself, try to sleep someone? Like, sure, that's fine, but like, you kind of want to wait for your team, because then you don't have all the focus fire on yourself, if that makes sense. Because realistically, you want your tanks to go on there. And this kind of brings me to the second point, is to switch to a tanky comp. So go to Diva, because once they like demech you, you can at least be a baby Diva, and it'll take some time just getting a Diva out of mech in general. Go Reinhardt, go Roadhog, because you can self-heal and you get the damage reduction from the self-heal. So play characters like that, because first off, it'll take the focus fire off, your other teammates, and you have a chance at getting a pick. Because if you can get a pick in a fight like that, then you have a chance of turning it around, which is kind of helpful. So this is why I'm kind of, sharing this information with you, because you could obviously, you might win, you might not. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. So that's the second point I wanted to bring up. Also, switching to maybe like a Mei, because Meis are really good at like walling off certain parts of the point, and you can either split them off, or you could just split yourself off from the enemy team, so you can give yourselves a chance to hide and wait for your team to regroup to push in. So if you can, so going back to the first point, I guess idea I had, you don't want to wait too long. That's the thing. Sometimes, obviously your teammates might die at some random moment. You need to try to like look at the ultimates that they have, or if there's like anything special coming up that they can like use that will be helpful for this fight. So this also helps if your team's talking. If they're not, then you might as well just switch to a tank or switch to a Mei, or just make that certain switch to help the team in some way, because you want to stall for as long as you can, because it's helpful for you in the long run. For that specific game, I should say. Not like in the long-term process, but that's that. So that's basically what I wanted to point out for 1 and 2. For number 3, I'm just gonna say like combo and ultimate, like a Zarya and a Hanzo. Like, I can't tell you how many times we've had like a Zarya grab. She uses it, but our Hanzo's dead. But it's like you kind of have to use it, because it's like, it's the end of the fight. You have to use everything you possibly can. But if you like wait, like, you can wait like a little bit, like it doesn't hurt. Like, you're gonna lose a tick, whatever. It's better than losing like the whole point. So, and you have a chance of pulling it back, so you might as well wait and combo an ultimate or something. And if you have like a Lucio or something, don't wait for like a Zarya grab. At that point, you just want to use it to like obviously stall the point, because it's gonna go one way either way. So might as well do that. And lastly, I'm just gonna say get an insta-pick character like a Doomfist or like a Reinhardt. And what I mean is that Reinhardts can obviously charge onto a point and get a easy pick on a squishy. And obviously it's not easy, but you have a possible chance of doing it. Or like if there's a I'm just gonna say this specific example. If you're Roadhog on third point of King's Row, there's like that little pit that you can hook people off of the payload, so you can kind of just get a quick pick there. There's a lot of possible things you can do here. Go Ana, get a quick sleep on someone, and when you get that sleep on someone, they're out of the fight basically. So you have to focus on the other people. So it kind of helps out your team, but It's just kind of whatever. It depends on the situation, obviously. And like Doomfist, obviously you can just seismic slam, uppercut, or just punch. I mean, he can get some insta picks. If you have a Triss, your pulse bomb and you can try to get a sticky on a squishy target. But yeah, things like that. If you do that, I mean, I promise you, you'll at least get some like seconds off of the time. Like you can solve for at least something instead of nothing, if that makes sense. Because it's better to do something rather than okay, yeah, we lost the fight, might as well just give up. No, like you still have a chance of doing something, so you don't want to just give it up right away. And lastly, this is kind of like a little bonus kind of thing, is what I like to do personally, because not a lot of people actually know about this. But if you have like a Lucio or something to like boot people off, so the specific example I'm going to bring up is Hanamura's second point. If you're defending that, basically you have your point, and then kind of off to the side, there's like that little pit area with that mini health pack. You can boot people down there, and they'll be taken out of the fight for quite some time, depending on who it is. Like, obviously, I mean, you're not going to boop a Pharah down there, that doesn't really make any sense, but like, if you can boop an Ana down there, that's actually really important. If you can get a healer down there, it's gonna take them a long time to make it up the stairs and back into the team fight. So it gives your team a chance to actually like focus on whatever is there. So if you can boot people down into pits like that, that's super helpful because then you have less things to worry about and your team can actually try to win the fight. So that's basically all I wanted to talk to you about, and hopefully you can apply this to your games. If not, then it's whatever. It's if you want to get like a couple seconds off to stall, and that's basically it. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you want more tips, more educational like tips and tricks, I'm always here. I can do VOD reviews. I'll do whatever. I'll share all of the information I can out of my years of playing this game. So hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a like. I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.